alternative provision, what is it that comes to mind? I'm here to talk about the need for us to offer options to our pupils now. Now, if you're from the UK, then the phrase alternative provision might remind you of what we call a pupil referral unit, or a PRU. A PRU is a setting, it's an alternative setting where pupils will go to when they need an additional level of support and care that they're not currently getting in their school environment. A PRU is not a special school. What it does have is highly qualified and experienced staff. Now, I'd like you to think about those words. Highly qualified and experienced staff. Teachers who are not of the one-size-fits-all mindset of learning. They are effective and they deploy a very holistic approach towards learning. Now, who would go to an alternative setting? There are children or people who may have truancy issues. They may have school denial or school phobia. There could be behavioural problems. Maybe they are young carers themselves. They could have medical needs that prevents them from being in a mainstream school. They could have any kind of additional needs. So there are a lot of positives to having an alternative provision for children who just are not getting what they need from their mainstream environment. And what you need to think about is that the teachers who work in these PRUs, in the alternative settings, they are experienced, as I said. They also have that holistic approach, that let's see what's best for the child way of thinking. Now, the other thing that you need to consider about alternative settings or pupils who go there is, I'm so sorry, my mind's just gone blank. The other thing that you need to consider is the fact that we take the example of what they have, how that works, and we put it in the alternative. We take the alternative setting and we put it in the mainstream setting. The teachers are, they put a lot of emphasis on pastoral support, emotional support, excuse me. What could we then achieve if we could have a curriculum that is creative, that is designed around the child's needs? Something to think about. Now let's have a look at the alternative pathways or curriculum in a mainstream school. Why does that work really well? Well, the first thing you need to think about is that there is no reason for a child, if they're unhappy in their current setting, for them not to find another alternative pathway. And we work with what we have. So, for example, think of a library. Think of the way that it offers the opportunity to experience being in a workplace. So what I mean by that is employability skills. Now, the library can be so much more. It's a safe, familiar setting for children. We all know that. But it can give you a taste of what it's like to be in the workplace. For example, it teaches you those employability skills, such as working to deadlines, being responsible for your work environment, answering questions, employability skills, learning a new skill set, being answerable to the public, growing in confidence, being part of a community. Now, what we also need to think about is how an alternative curriculum can be described as a non-traditional way of teaching. You take small steps towards your goals. It is the progress is measured in a slightly different way. You've got to remember that when we're offering alternative provision, it's not just the result that matters, but it is the effort that takes you there in the first place. That's really important too. Teachers rethink, revise, and then revisit what is on offer. That's really important as well. It's flexible, it keeps changing with the needs. What we have is the opportunities that we have never had before, the opportunity of developing our children's functional and vocational skills, building a curriculum around them. That's what makes it so important. So if you have a look at skills building, which is what we do with our curriculum, can you imagine how far we could go if we built that curriculum around the child's particular needs? If we could give the teachers the flexibility of a curriculum that is not just measured in the traditional way, but also in functional and in vocational skills as well. Never before have we had the number of options available to us as we have now. We have exam boards who offer the traditional end of school qualifications thinking in this way now. And what they have is something that they refer to as the comprehensive qualifications for all ages and all learner types, and they teach them through practical skills. The practical skills that allow them to live, to learn, and to work effectively. What a difference that could make to our pupils. In closing, when I was at college, I read this poem by Robert Frost, and it still resonates. I think that is because it encapsulates the need for us to make that change now. Now, I'm not going to read the entire poem to you, but I will do the last few lines, and this is how it goes. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by, and that made all the difference. It's time to make a difference.